Hello, I'm excited to introduce my friend Danielle to everyone today. Danielle lives in the United States, and she's going to tell you just a little bit about herself and what she does.
Hello, ladies. My name is Danielle, and I am a personal finance coach. I help women get their finances in order and understand how to best handle the money that they get to honor God, and to just do a great job with their finances for their personal use.
And Danielle, we're talking about savings today and how to save. What would you say is the most versatile method for people of all incomes?
Sure. So what I have found to be the best method, whether you have a lot or a little, is the envelope budgeting method. Using envelopes allows you to take the money that you receive and decide what job it has to do. I like to say that every dollar has a job to do. And so when we earn income, we get to tell our money what job it has.
So how does an envelope system work?
So when you have an envelope system, you will take the income and divide it out into each envelope. I recommend that you start with 5 envelopes. That's a great place to get started. So if you start with 5 envelopes, you would have one for home, one for transportation, one for food, savings, and then finally your business. When income comes in, you get to decide how much goes into each envelope so that you have money if you need to take the bus, if you need to buy school supplies, or if you need to go to the market for groceries.
Perfect. How do you suggest someone start saving if they haven't been setting money aside for, say, future expenses that might come up?
So when you're getting started, let's say that you earn a cord a day, you want to decide what the best use of that cord is. So if you know that you need to go to the market to get groceries at the end of the week, put your first cord in your food envelope. If you know that you're going to need to take the bus to get to the market, then maybe the next day you put a cord in your transportation envelope. And let's say that you earn 5 cords a day. Now you have an opportunity to put a cord in multiple envelopes in one day. And if you don't spend from that envelope, the cord just stays there and keeps growing and growing until you need it. So if you only have to buy school supplies once a year, you can still put some money into that envelope each week, maybe not every day, but each week you would decide, I'm going to put 2 cords a week in my savings envelope because I know that I'm going to need to buy school supplies next year, in 6 months. So you are taking control and deciding what to do with your money. You put it in the envelope, and then it will stay there for you for when you need it. And it's important to think ahead as to what expenses you might have, because some things, maybe you buy groceries every week, so there's not a lot of extra money in that envelope. But maybe your transportation builds up because you only take the bus every other week. or you only buy school supplies once a year. So you get to decide which envelope you put the funds in, but then you do not spend from that envelope unless you need to for that specific expense.
So if we have these 5 envelopes, I think I have 5 here, we would label them. And that's what we would put each category of money in as we go through a week.
That's correct.
Okay. And say again the categories, Danielle.
Sure. Home, that would be things like your house, things for your family. Then we have transportation. Then food.
Okay.
The fourth one would be savings, and that would be for future expenses like medical, school supplies. If you're looking to buy a house and you want money for that, you could save for it. And then the final one would be your business expenses, the things that you need to spend money on for your business.
Okay. And it doesn't take a lot. What I'm hearing you say is, I don't have to have hundreds or thousands of Cordobas to start saving. I can start saving with whatever I earn each day, no matter the amount.
That's exactly right. I like to say that saving something today is better than saving nothing yesterday. You have to start somewhere. So if you get 5 cords a day, then the easiest thing to do is to start by putting 1 in each of your envelopes. And do that for the first week. And then decide, okay, I need more in my food and less in my transportation. Or I need to put more back for school supplies, but I don't need quite as much for house expense. You have the control to put as much as you want where you want, but just getting started with whatever you earn tomorrow or today is what you need to do. We have to jump in somewhere and get started and then learn as you go. The great thing about the envelope budgeting style is that you have control of what you're doing. You get to decide what you're going to do and where you're going to put your money.
So that allows the money to work for you and you to be prepared for your expenses each week or day or month. And in the future, like something that you do once or twice a year, like school supplies.
Yes, this allows you to manage for what I call daily expenses, and then the periodic expenses that just happen every once in a while. So it gives you that flexibility to do both, including things that you need for your business. If you have to buy supplies every day for your business, then you'll have funds for it. But maybe you only have to buy other supplies for your business once a month. Still have the funds, or you can begin to save the funds for those expenses.
Right. It's sometimes it's really hard to start that process because it's such a shift in what we've been doing. And so it is very challenging, but once you get started, it's kind of I would call it a snowball, but there's no snow here.
There you go. The other thing, when you get started, I find that some ladies feel overwhelmed because they don't know what all they're spending money on. So a really good exercise is to take a minute to write down what you spend money on. And that could be every day, every week, every month, and every year. So where do you spend money? That helps to give you an idea of where your money is going. Then you can look at, okay, well, I know I buy school supplies. It's only once or twice a year. How much do I think I spend on that? Maybe I spend you know, we're just going to use an example of 10 cords a year on school supplies. So now you know that you roughly use 10 cords. So you know now how much you should be saving. Maybe I only need to save 1 cord a month toward my school supplies. On the other hand, if you spend 10 cords a week on your housing expense, now you know that you need to put more in that envelope because you're spending more out of that envelope. So it's really good if you can give yourself some time to either jot down or get a mental note of where your money goes and then how much you think you're spending. And it's not perfect at first because you are somewhat guessing what you spend, although you probably have an idea of how much you're spending on food or, you know, your housing supplies or electricity. So you do the best you can as you're getting started so that you know how much you need in your envelopes. And even if you're off and your school supplies cost 11 cords instead of 10, you're much better off having 10 already saved and only having to come up with the 1 extra one you need versus having nothing saved and then needing to try to come up with all of it by some other means.
That makes so much sense. And I like that you said if they get started and they need to make adjustments, they can. It's not something that's set in stone. It's really for them to decide how to spend the money, but to use it to manage their money also.
That's right. It's not something that is what I call hard and fast, where you set it up and it doesn't change. This is something that can work with you. For example, out of my life, 12 years ago, 13 years ago, I got pregnant. So I needed extra things because we were going to have a baby. So I set up in my envelope system things that I needed to buy for the baby. Diapers, things like that, all the things that as a new mom, I didn't have. Well, after the first 2 years, I didn't need to have diaper expenses anymore. So I could take that envelope away. I didn't have baseball expenses when my son was a newborn, but now that he's 12, I have baseball expenses. So the envelope system works with our life no matter what we're doing. It's not something that you set one time and never change. You can add more envelopes if you need them. But when you're getting started, 5 is a nice, easy number to manage to help you learn how to live a lifestyle, because envelope budgeting isn't just about what you're doing with your money. It's a lifestyle that you learn to live because you look at your envelope to decide if you have enough to buy something. So it becomes part of your lifestyle and it can change over time. I've worked with people that have 5 envelopes and I've worked with people that have 25 envelopes. And it all depends on what they're doing, which is why I love managing money this way, because it's very much about the individual person and you taking ownership of your finances for the needs that you have today and in the future.
That is so awesome. And I really love that system myself. And I just so appreciate you hopping on today, Danielle, and having this conversation with me so that we can start working with the ladies with their budgeting and money. And so thank you so much.
You're welcome. I hope that the ladies just embrace this and can use it to better their lives and to help their businesses grow and be good stewards of the resources that God has given them. Thank you for having me.